Donald Trump has told us that he knew Epstein liked girls on the younger side, and I quote,
"Let's watch Scott Jennings and Ana Navarro duke it out over Trump's alleged Epstein ties."
Against as if, it's the biggest deal in the world.
I don't understand why people keep using the term that they were associates. They weren't associates. They were friends. They were close friends for 15 years. They partied together. They flew in each other's planes. Epstein was at his wedding, the second one. I mean, they got into a fight. When they got into a fight, it was over a real estate deal in Palm Beach. Donald Trump has told us that he knew Epstein liked girls on the younger side, and I quote. So, yeah, it's old news.
Everyone knew that about Epstein, by the way. Ask any New York socialite or anyone in the public eye who knew of Epstein, as many of them did. He had a known predilection that many people, if not covered up, at least were complicit in ignoring.
But I guess, it's old news, but it's hitting you in the face.
I love that face from Scott Jennings. What are you talking about, Ana Navarro? What?
The fact that all of these Bible-clutching, cross-wearing Christians, MAGAs, voted for a man who was close friends for over a decade with the worst sexual predator that we have known in recent history in the United States.
He also severed ties, though, after news of the sexual impropriety surfaced. So it wasn't just merely
actually before, as far as we know.
Well, according to Trump, he said that after news of that became apparent,
according to Trump, and what's true are not necessarily the same.
Fair, but I think we should honor the fact that there were a number of people who were associates of Epstein, and let's be journalists here. Let's actually look at what's being alleged, which is that he was in the files. In what context, though? We don't know the context in which his name was mentioned. To your point, we already know that he was already on the flight logs. He was already in pictures with Epstein before. This was a long-standing friendship and relationship. So we don't know if there's any criminality here, and to imply that is an egregious...
Nobody's implying that it's criminal, but the question is why not?
Democrats are alleging that he is somehow part of Epstein's wrongdoing. It's been happening all day long. This is the whole point of this fiasco, is to try to create a narrative and what he calls correctly a hoax, that he is somehow part of it. It's exactly what they did about Russia, and they're doing it on Epstein.
If he knew that Epstein was preying on underage girls, is that wrongdoing?
I don't know what he knew or not. All I know is they were friends.
He told us that he knew that Epstein liked women on the younger side, girls on the younger side.
And that comment and what you just said are two different things. So
if
you're alleging criminality, go ahead, say it directly. Say it so we can all hear it.
I am asking you a question that you are pivoting on. The question I am asking you is, if Donald Trump knew that Epstein was having sex and preying on underage girls, is that wrongdoing?
Well, I think if anyone would have known that, but I don't know that he knew that because
I don't know that either.
He disowned it. But you're raising it. If I knew that you ran over someone out on the street, would that be criminal wrongdoing? You're raising it because you don't know if it's true, but you're saying it out loud because you're trying to create.
I'm saying it out loud because I think that's what a lot of people are wondering, because he does. The man does protest.
CNN does this all the time, by the way. They will go, Caitlin Collins asked President Trump a question yesterday. I forget what the question was, but the question ostensibly was, people are saying this, President Trump. You're saying it. Own it. Have the balls to be like, this is what I'm saying. Not people are saying that Trump did this in the Epstein files. I'm saying, I'm Ana Navarro, and here's what I'm saying. That way, if and when you're wrong, as Ana Navarro often is, people can tie it to you. There's credibility. There's accountability. Neither of which I think anybody who's ever been on The View has.
Right in here.
A lot of people who are MAGA influencers are wondering. Go ahead, Jeff, I'm sorry.
The fact that there are reports that he's in the files is no surprise at all. I mean, there were associates, friends, whatever you want to call it. Anybody who has had that long of an association is probably going to be named somehow in the files. The problem becomes, as the MAGA base in particular, and many who are now in office, running for office, talked about the Epstein files and who is in it. And they have to be released. Even Elon Musk said a few months ago that Trump is in the Epstein files. And so that kind of, I mean, when you traffic in conspiracy theories, it comes back to bite you.
Yeah,
and it's biting right now.
To your point, this MAGA influencer, he on February 26th said The Epstein files come tomorrow. Any living people on that list should immediately be jailed. Now today, he says, being in the Epstein files does not mean you're a pedophile. Epstein was a member of Mar-a-Lago for years until Trump threw him out. Of course there will be incidental mentions of Trump. Give me a break with this non-story.
It's not a non-story. And if the Trump administration had handled this like they should have and just been transparent from the beginning, then the story would not have been, oh, Trump is in the Epstein files. Something we've known for years, I believe, that his name was on the list because he was on flights with Jeffrey Epstein. Not to his island, but he, like many celebrities, many people in the culture, rich, famous people, they took Jeffrey Epstein's plane rides everywhere, to Africa for humanitarian trips. All sorts of people were on that plane. I gotta say, the Trump administration played this one about as badly as they could have. And Joey Manarino, I'm not familiar. I believe he's a veteran, and God bless him, respect him for his service. But, like, what are you doing here, bud? What are you saying?
To your exact point, I mean, the flip-flopping, I think, is also very bizarre because it's either you want to know what's in the documents or you don't. There's another argument separate from that maybe they shouldn't be released at all, but that's not what these MAGA people were saying just a few months ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of flip-flopping, a lot of hypocrisy, and they say in politics the scandal is not as bad as the cover-up. And here we have a huge cover-up because, as everybody's admitted, we all knew Donald Trump's name was going to be in the Epstein files anyway. The fact that he's spending so much energy for the past 2 weeks going out of his way not to talk about it, to throw up every distraction imaginable to avoid the issue, is indicative of just how bad this cover-up is. And it's not Democrats who've been pressing this issue, but Republicans and MAGA supporters and Trump supporters who've been pressing this issue.
The Democrats are now pressing the issue because they smell blood in the water. They're seeing the chum mixed up. They had zero interest in this when it was their party that was implicated in these Epstein files, the Bill Clintons of the world, who, Jeffrey Epstein was a Democratic mega donor. He was the guy for a long time pouring a lot of money into left-wing campaigns. And now all of a sudden they're interested. Give me a break.
People like Theo Vaughn and podcasters, and people like Tom Massey, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And the idea is that Democrats have been trying to have some sort of accountability in getting people to talk about this issue honestly, since Trump claimed that he was.
Yes.
Trump, wait.
Democrats have a long time worried about this.
That's not my point. I just want to say one thing.
I chuckled a little bit, Scott, when you compared this to, you called it the Russia hoax. I'm actually going to play this from The Daily Show's Jordan Klepper because I think, honestly, he comedically laid...
We're not going to watch that. But, I mean, here's the thing. And this is why I have issues with the way the Trump administration, Pam Bondi, the DOJ, really everybody in the administration have handled this Epstein thing. Russiagate was a hoax. The Steele dossier, which declassified reports from the CIA now, assessments of the 2017 intelligence community assessment revealed that really their entire basis for this this conclusion that Russian President Vladimir Putin meddled in the 2016 U.S. election to favor Donald Trump. It was really all based on this Steele dossier, this unvetted, or shadily sourced document from a British intelligence agent, commissioned essentially by proxy by the Clinton campaign. All this Russia stuff kind of ended up being a nothing burger, and we, spent like 4 years of our country's zeitgeist talking about it. Now we're lumping that in with the Epstein stuff, and people, CNNs of the world, the normies are saying, well, they're both conspiracies. One is definitely not. Russiagate is definitely, the idea that Russiagate was a hoax, that is not a conspiracy. And I don't think this Epstein stuff is either. And man, I just think they're playing it the wrong way. I would love to know what you folks think. Would you like to see the Trump administration take a different approach? What should we do with the Epstein files? What do you think about Russiagate? Is it a bad approach to be sort of lumping those two things in with each other, releasing these Russiagate files while the pressure is on Epstein? Please let us know what you think in the comments. As always, give us a like. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. See you next time.